In the San Fernando Valley, where authorities are in pursuit of a possible stolen car.
Gil Levis overhead and Sky 5 with more. Gil.
Sharon, Micah, this started in the Moore Park area. The Ventura County Sheriffs went into pursuit of this stolen vehicle. It was stolen from a liquor store in that area. Now, when the officers got behind it, they tried to pull it over. It took off on those officers, running red lights for a time. And then at Moore Park and Los Angeles Street, it turned into a Ralph's supermarket, actually parked in one of the stalls. And then for about 2 minutes, it seemed like the pursuit had ended, but the car took off on those officers. And that's when the pursuit jumped onto the freeway. Here we are, southbound 101 freeway, and the speeds aren't too high. They're about freeway speeds, maybe 55, 60 miles an hour. As I zoom out, you can see several units in pursuit of the vehicle. CHP is aware of the pursuit, and I believe they are either involved or assisting at this point. We know that there's an airship overhead, but right now, southbound 101, or if you want to call it eastbound 101, approaching the 405 here in a couple miles, but that's the vehicle there. Not really too high of speeds, but earlier in the pursuit it was running red lights in the Moore Park area, but right now the law enforcement there, you see a CHP there on the side of the road actively pursuing this vehicle.
And a question of if or when CHP will take over. Again, this is a stolen car, you say, from a liquor store in the Moore Park area. Any indication as to whether this was some sort of carjacking or if there was a victim involved in some form?
All we heard was that it was at a liquor store. It's unknown if it was a carjacking, if there was a weapon used. We haven't heard any kind of language like that, Mike, at this point. But you know, again, the vehicle, the driver that's in this vehicle, desperate to get away for sure, had the opportunity to surrender those officers there at Moore Park and Los Angeles Street, but decided not to. Decided to hit the gas and take off out of that parking lot, and eventually jumped on the 23 freeway and then made its way onto the 101.
From the 23 freeway to the 101 southbound now in the San Fernando Valley, making his way, and we see he's making his way within the speed limit here. No erratic driving that we've seen so far. We know that we don't know too much right now about who is in the car with him, if there is anybody, if he's alone, if he was armed, or what happened exactly at that liquor store when this occurred, when he stole the car. But we do see a number of police cruisers behind him.
That's right. So I'm hearing now that the CHP is involved here. They have taken over the pursuit. They are calling the pursuit. So that is a bit of good news. The Sheriff's Department from Ventura County, they pulled back as they're the lead agency, but they've handed it off to the CHP. So we have this vehicle in the number 4 lane right now, southbound or eastbound on the 101, approaching the 405 here in a couple miles, but really not driving too aggressively at all that we've seen so far.
In terms of air support, would that still be Ventura County Sheriff, or is CHP overhead?
Let me ask my pilot, hey Saro, who's the airship overhead? It's Ventura County is what we're hearing as the airship overhead with the aerial support. We'll likely see a CHP helicopter come into play. They're usually based in Fullerton if they're not flying. So we'll likely see them pick up the pursuit. If not, a LAPD unit or a helicopter might do the same.
Real dark. It looks like also that the windows must be tinted or something. It's real hard to see any detail of what's going on in that car. You do see some light, could be a cell phone, could be the dashboard, but not really too sure. As you can tell, we are quite a bit away and it's a bit grainy at this point. But again, a stolen car from the Ventura County area, from Moore Park at a liquor store. That's where it happened. There was even a moment where this car did stop. There was a 2-minute standoff of sorts, and you know, the suspect could have surrendered there, but that didn't happen at all. And now we see him making his way down the 101 southbound, eastbound through Encino.
Well, and Sharon, Mike, I can tell you right now, I don't know if you noticed those officers in the center divider. It looks like there's a cone zone there. They were using that as cover for a spike strip, and they're saying that the vehicle did run over that spike strip. It was a good spike strip hit, so it looks like maybe the driver here, realizing that his tires are about to go flat, is signaling to get over.
Well, the signal is one thing, the intention is another, and until we see the suspect come to a stop, You know, this is, we've seen so many times suspects drive over spike strips and continue moving for some distance and for some time. So the question becomes, how effective was the spike strip, and how much will does this suspect have to continue to run? Again, a stolen car from a liquor store in the Moore Park area. Hard to tell if anyone's in the car aside from the driver. Ventura County Sheriff's Department initiated this pursuit. CHP has since taken over as we remain on the 101 here through the valley. And the suspect is moving at fairly moderate speeds, and has been the case since we've been over it. We understand there were much higher speeds earlier in the pursuit, and the suspect running through a lot of red lights apparently on surface streets in Moore Park before getting on the 23 freeway, what would be southbound to the 101. And now the 101 southbound, or eastbound as it is, through the valley, through the Encino area. And there you see CHP on the ground behind this suspect now. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department again initiating. They still have their air support overhead. So you've got Ventura County Sheriff's Department overhead, CHP on the ground, and coordinating agencies here as they continue to pursue this suspect who stole this car. Still few details on the circumstances surrounding the theft of the car. We don't know if there was anyone victimized, if it was some sort of carjacking, or if there was any violence involved. Too soon to tell at this point, but again, a stolen car is the want, and the CHP has now taken over.
Mike and Cher, now we're approaching here the interchange here, the 405 and the 101. We'll see what happens if the driver continues. Looks like if he stays in that lane and does not cross the Gore point, he's going to stay on the 101 at this point. Yep, there he goes. So he's committed to the 101, still east or southbound at this point.
Making his way, again, still on the 101. We had that point there where he could have made the choice to go on the 405. Not happening at this point, and still staying at speeds within the speed limit at a normal rate of speed. Saw him speed up just a little bit when there was another car on the road, but it looks as if he has enough CHP officers behind him to keep everyone from passing their line. You know, keeping traffic behind him. Let's take a look at what this is doing to the traffic in the Sherman Oaks area. I'm sure that there's got to be some kind of a backup as well that's starting to occur.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking behind the pursuit. It looks like that traffic is heavier, but actually traffic is fairly light out here at this hour right now, at least the eastbound lanes of the 101.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely slowed down behind the pursuit. They do have a traffic break behind or in front of the traffic there and behind this pursuit. So CHP definitely staying in control of this pursuit. The Ventura County Sheriff's helicopter overhead still. And it looks like at this point, like Micah was saying, maybe that wasn't so effective, that spike strip.
We'll have to see, and oftentimes it can, well, how you define effective, if it gets the car to stop, but obviously what they're designed to do is deflate the tires, but sometimes that's not enough. Cars, depending on the make and model, can be quite resilient in running on some rubber. This could get interesting if it continues on the 101 through Hollywood as we get toward downtown Los Angeles. Signal alert indicating there is some sort of congestion there on the 101 southbound just before you get to downtown LA. So that could make things interesting if this suspect decides to stay on the 101 freeway. Of course, he could continue eastbound where the 101 kind of runs into the 134 and then heads in through Burbank and into Glendale. That question's still wide open here as the suspect moves again at a moderate speed here. Not much happening in terms of erratic driving and in terms of a lot of traffic at this point. CHP has the freeway largely to themselves here with this suspect.
Slowing down here, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely slowing down here. Unknown reason why. It's let me take a look and see if we can see. We a little bit away from the car. He looks like he might be exiting. It looks like that.
Front
it
left
looks like
is
maybe
gone.
that front tire's flat.
There it
Yeah,
is.
the front left at least.
He's exiting.
Yeah. And it looks like it might be a front-wheel drive car, which is going to make it very, very difficult to accelerate and steer when you've only got one good tire, assuming the right front is intact. It looks like this is coming,
Right turn.
may well be coming to an end here as the suspect may just have run out of an ability to move this car at a decent speed.
And we may see a pit maneuver right now if he doesn't pull over. It's getting right up there on that bumper. There it is. A pit maneuver, spinning the vehicle out. It should be enough to disable the vehicle there. The officer that did the pit moving through and away, and now a felony traffic stop with the vehicle. It looks like at this point the driver coming out and the vehicle disabled.
Yeah, and it looks like he might be the sole occupant of the car at this point. But again, doing double duty, the spike strip a couple of miles up on the 101 freeway, and now a pit maneuver, gentle tap that was effective.
And CHP now will have the suspect get out of the car, throw the keys, hands up, and we know the routine at this point. And there you see the K9 unit on the far right of your screen, often used as just a greater show of force by law enforcement to, sort of help convince the suspect not to think twice about surrendering here. But until he or she, we haven't identified this suspect as of yet, gets out of what is a stolen car that has been disabled, first with a spike strip, then a successful pit maneuver here.
They got exhaust.
Just off the 101 freeway in the Sherman Oaks area.
Exhaust.
And the question remains, will the suspect comply?
Exhaust.
Commands are being given, and the CHP is, it sounds like and looks like, having some success with that communication. And the suspect, the hands aren't up.
No, they're not. It seems like he's putting his hands.
She,
Oh,
yep.
okay.
That's most definitely a female suspect here. And yeah, not
left.
doing what they want. And you can bet the K9 unit is right behind that suspect moving in here.
Yeah, this might be also a DUI situation, you might think, as well. She's not complying and not holding her hands all the way up in the air, just a little bit, and doesn't look like everything's right now.
Oh, she's up
Where is
against
she?
the wall. Okay.
There she is. Okay.
Rather interesting.
exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gil.
Not exactly what the CHP wants her to do at this point, but she's made her way over to that fence on the sidewalk, and we're trying to get into a better position for you to see what's going on here. But yeah, as I come out to a wider shot, you see the officers there still with their guns drawn. They want her to walk over to them, but that's not happening, so they're going to have to make an approach on her. It looks like maybe they were making sure no one else was in the vehicle, but at this point, she's just standing her ground there against the fence and not doing what they want her to do. And what that is to walk back towards them. But they're putting a team together here. Looks like they have maybe a shield there. Let me come in a little tighter.
Yeah, the K9.
Yeah, and there goes the dog wanted to go, but the handler has the dog there. Not going to deploy the dog.
Oh.
And well, they did. So she's still not complying against that fence.
Yeah, now
This is interesting to see, because we usually see them take a suspect down, and that is not happening. But guns are drawn, and we see that she is not complying at this point. But the CHP is doing what they can to let this continue until she's able to surrender. And this, I think, we're going to have to pull out just a little bit. There we go. Thank you. As this suspect is put into custody.
Wow. So there you see the K9 unit and how effective they can be. This suspect here, we saw her sort of shuffling away from authorities as they tried to move in. The K9 stopped that in a quick hurry and removed quite a bit of the clothing on the suspect here as we keep a wide shot and say at this point it's code 4, suspect in custody. That was a stolen car at a Moore Park from a liquor store, and we saw the run along the 101 freeway. But it's a successful, and nobody was hurt, and the suspect is in custody.
All right. Thank you, Gil Avis in Sky 5 for that.